Hello, you're watching a replay of the live stream. Today we're talking about Amazon tax, what you have to know, and one thing you have to avoid. My name is Max, this is Alex. We're from an Auckland-based freight forwarder. Alex, tell us.
Amazon tax. Everyone keeps talking about Amazon tax. It's in every newspaper right now. Lots of people got worried. What does it mean for all of us? And we will try to get into it and explain how it works.
And especially how it affects you.
My personal opinion, I'm still not sure. Is it good or is it bad?
Come on. Why is it good if I'm spending more? Any tax is bad, right?
Supposedly it's going to be good for retail businesses who will be able to now compete with overseas suppliers of cheap goods. And of course it's going to be good for government because they get more tax and they will spend more spend more money.
All right.
Which is kind of lame excuse to introduce a new tax, but hey, well, let's explain what it is and what it means. Basically, what it is now is as soon as you get $60 worth of tax, you will have to do a proper customs clearance to your goods, and it will include a number of things. What they want to do, they want to introduce a new tax and put a new cap.
Well, let's be honest, it's not a new tax. GST has been forever, right? They're just gonna calculate it different.
It used to be $400 upwards, roughly $400 upwards. You will have to pay the tax, which is, what is it now? From the 1st of October 2019, next year, they want to do it reverse. So you will have to pay GST on the first $400 worth of your goods. To make the things simpler, they would like to just make it a value based on $400. So basically, before you had to use the calculator and to try to figure out what's your going to be your tax, what's going to be your freight, what's going to be your customs brokerage fee, what's going to be how much different exchange rate. Now you're going to be just buying things on spot. Say for example on Amazon, that's why it's called Amazon tax, or in any other big supplier of big platform, internet platform, like tell them which are they?
AliExpress, eBay, or any other
website, and that supplier will charge you on the spot. So for example, if you're buying something worth $400, $300 or $200, they will charge you 15%, and you will pay on the spot all this money, and then your goods are shipped to New Zealand, and then you just get them freely without any customs clearances whatsoever.
All right.
Fair to say, if, for example, let's take an example. Right now, say you're buying a pair of shoes worth $200. They might be, if you add freight on it, they might be just over $400 value or $60 in tax. So you'll have to do a proper customs clearance, right?
Well, it's not over $400 because if you convert it from US dollars to New Zealand dollars, it's going to be less than $400.
Less than
but
$400.
Because there is duty.
Exactly, there is a duty, and
which nobody tells you about when you buy it.
And in total, it's going to be $60 worth of tax. Then it means that you are required to do the customs clearance. Once you do that, you're going to go to a customs broker. You're going to spend money on him. Then you have to do...
How much are they charged? Like New Zealand Post, they'll charge you anywhere between $50 to, I think, $60, is it?
65.
Plus, is it plus GST or is it included?
No, it's plus GST. And you have to pay to customs another $50.
Yep.
So in total, your shoes will be worth not $200, which you paid them originally, but those charges on top. So you end up paying $500-600 for a pair of shoes.
So you nearly doubled your price.
Yeah, and it hurts, right? With a new law, you're gonna pay $200 US plus 15%. That period, nothing else. Which is actually makes things better. But for everything else, you'll have to pay more, because before, if there's no duty, if it's less than $60 worth of tax, no customs clearance, freely get your goods.
Alright, so it's simpler and you know upfront all your costs. That's gonna be the new rule, and it becomes the new law. The new law becomes valid on the 1st of October next year, and you've got some time till 29th of June to voice your opinion if you don't agree with that.
Not if it's gonna help.
Yeah, well, well, yeah, chances are probably it's gonna be as is right now, but still you have a chance to send the email and disagree or make some or suggest some changes. All right, so what's the trap? The trap is if you buy the goods, and if you buy it from Amazon, the same big guy, if you buy it from Amazon and you use a service called UShop, you may be thinking that you've paid $200 and all taxes were included. Once it's been delivered to their warehouse in the States and then it's been forwarded to New Zealand, it arrives here and you are happily waiting for your goods to turn up at your doorstep, only to find out a week later in a big envelope that you're gonna get from New Zealand Post that you have to pay something more.
Well,
right?
basically your goods have been stopped for customs clearance because they are more expensive than $400.
And once again, nobody told you that. Even though it's been processed by the seller overseas, this Amazon tax didn't apply because the seller didn't know it's gonna go to New Zealand. When the seller sold it to you, they thought it's gonna go from their Amazon warehouse to another house or another apartment in the States.
Within US, yes.
Yeah, so it's not gonna leave the country. That's why you didn't pay any tax on top. But once it's gonna cross the border from the States to New Zealand, the customs system or New Zealand Post system will pick it up.
Ouch.
And how much you're gonna pay? You're gonna pay, if you imported, say, $250 of shoes, you're gonna pay what, roughly $70 to a broker,
and again $50 to customs
for the customs transaction fee, and the taxes another
GST and duty on everything.
Right, so this
15%.
$250 will turn up.
A couple of more things to consider about new law. So this not every company, overseas company, will be charging you GST, right? Because it's just impossible for New Zealand government to force this law to every possible overseas online shop.
Yes.
So they only want to do it with the big guys.
All right.
Big guys like Amazon or AliExpress or
so how
eBay.
am I supposed to know if I'm gonna shop online? How am I supposed to know? Am I liable for a tax or not? Am I gonna have problems?
That's a big question.
That's why we probably have time.
They want to exclude. They want to exclude overseas suppliers which do sell the goods to New Zealand for less than $60,000 a year. Whether you, how do you supposed to know that? How much do they sell? Well, it's gonna be up to a supplier. If you see that the supplier charges you GST 15%, make sure then that you keep the receipt. So if customs do stop your goods on the border, at least you can show them this piece of paper and say, look, hi guys, they charge me 15% GST, and hopefully they will believe you and will let your goods GST free. Anything else?
I think we've covered the main points. So we just told you the current rules. We told you the new rules that will be effective next year, 1st of October. And the trap that you have to be careful with when you use a service company like UShop. There could be other similar companies that you may be liable for extra taxes once it arrives in New Zealand.
Interesting to know that they actually want to ditch all other charges. When you're buying something for less than $400, there's going to be only GST payment. So you don't have to jump on a line and use your calculator to find out how much it's going to cost you. Because now it's very simple. There's going to be no duty, there's just the GST. And for the goods which are more expensive than $400, everything stays the same. So exactly that's how it is now. Another proposal of them, they want only to do it for individuals, which is also really hard to understand, because who's going to control whether the company or individual buying something? So,
nobody's going to check that, right?
And it's not uncommon that many things bought by directors of the company, and it looks like it's an individual, but it turns out to be for the company. And if you are the company who is importing something, you still have to go under old rules and do the proper customs clearance. Yeah, so it's a big question, and we'll hopefully know by the end of this year or by mid next year how it's going to be look like, because there's still a big question, and the way it is now, it's not perfect. But one thing is for certain, the one way or another, we'll have to pay those extra 15% on everything we buy from overseas.
All right, thank you for your time. If you enjoyed this information, make sure you subscribe and press this like button. We appreciate it. Once again, stay tuned. We're gonna pick another interesting topic next week, and we'll share with you some insider knowledge with you. Thank you very much. Talk to you soon. Bye.